So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing all of the plans for the guest bathroom. And towards the end, I'm going to share a couple updates and a couple things that we still have left to do in order to finally move in before the end of this month. Hey there, my name is Yami. I am your Latina next door. Welcome back to Mi Casa. So our floor plan has 4 full bathrooms. We have the 2 kids' bathrooms upstairs, we have our master bathroom, and then we have the guest bathroom downstairs, and it is a complete bathroom with a shower. So for the guest bathroom, I thought I'd kind of go over everything the way that I actually handled it in real life. Like the order of the decisions that I made for this bathroom, which might not necessarily be in the order that you would think it would be. The first thing that I wanted to do was kind of hone down the color of the actual room. Now, this is the initial mood board that I created for this space. I knew I wanted to have something like a sage green in this room. I wanted something that would have a little bit of a statement, but also be kind of muted. This bathroom doesn't have a window, so I didn't want anything too dark either. Now in this mock-up, I do have some wallpaper here, and while that's not entirely out of the question, I would like to do something on the walls in the future. For right now, I'm just focusing on the base color, which is the soft sage. Now this bathroom is located off a little vestibule area that comes off of the kitchen, and you can either go to the bathroom, you can go to the garage, or you can go to the back patio. And I love the little vestibule that it's in, and I want to do something really unique in that little space as well because it's just so cute to me. And whatever I do in there is kind of going to coordinate with like what's going on in the bathroom, right? Kind of like a precursor. As far as the plans go, I kept it pretty close to the original plans that we purchased. Now, the shower, I could have done some different things to it if I really wanted to, but I wanted to keep it simple and keep it a floor to ceiling walk-in shower. No tub, no nothing like that. I wanted to also have custom built-ins to the right of the shower. That is the area where Nelson has the electrical boxes on the other side in the garage. So I took part of that space behind there and I designed some built-ins so that we can place it in there. Behind the built-ins, it's still open and accessible to Nelson in case he ever needs to go back in the future and do some work with the electrical boxes from the inside. Now, this is what the shower looked like after the sheetrock was done and installed, and the interior plumbing as well. Now here in this picture, you can see the space to the right of the shower. That's the space where I'm adding the built-ins, and that's also the area where the electrical panels are. So Nelson will have access to it from the other side. Just like our master bathroom shower, I knew I wanted to take this from floor to ceiling, and I wanted it to be a walk-in shower with no tub or anything. And I wanted everything tiled from top to bottom. Now, since I knew that the rest of the bathroom was going to be a little bit more bolder, I wanted to keep the shower portion simple, and I decided to go with a white, larger subway tile for this. And as you can see here, there are 2 nooks in here for like shampoo and soap. And then there's going to be a shower head on the left side, but there's also going to be a handheld spray nozzle on the right side. So we have the option of one or the other. Now, I apologize for the lighting in this video. We did not have power when we were doing this, and all we had were spotlights in order to work. I wanted to keep everything nice and classic in here, so I did go with the traditional subway tile pattern. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but as they work up the wall, you don't see any spacers. And after working with them and just asking my questions and watching them, they said that some tile, like this one, has a beveled edge. And when you have that little beveled edge on the edges all the way around, what happens is once you lay the tile, that beveled edge creates the groove where your grout is going to go. So there's no need to add additional spacers and make that space larger. Eventually, if you do that, you get really thick grout lines. And this way, this stays even and consistent, and your grout lines are nice and fine. As you can see, this is still quite a spacious shower, even though there is that nook to the right of it. And as always, it is so satisfying seeing those last pieces go up all the way to the ceiling. Now, for the shower floor as well as the nook area, I decided to do something with a little bit of contrast. and I decided to go with a mosaic tile for this time in a natural marble. I wanted it to have a little bit of color variation, but I wanted it to keep the same pattern as the walls. So it still has that traditional subway tile pattern in this as well. As for the grout, I chose a simple white to kind of blend in with the tile. Since it's going to be a bright white tile in this corner, I didn't want to break it up. I wanted it to look nice and smooth and just kind of feel a little bit more spacious. So I decided to go with that. And then in the marble nook area, as well as the floor, I went ahead and brought in that white grout as well. So everything flows really nicely. Now for the actual floors. I wanted something that was going to be large and did not require a lot of grout. Because this bathroom is located near our garage as well as our back patio door, if we're ever outside, this is the bathroom that we're going to be coming in and using. So I didn't want a whole bunch of dirt accumulation and staining of the grout. So again, I knew a large tile was going to be what I was going to go with. So I decided to go with a 12 by 24 tile for this. Again, continuing that subway tile pattern that's in the shower and just kind of tying everything together. Now this is the same tile that I used in my master bathroom, only cut in a different size, but these are actually in a satin finish versus the ones in my master are in a matte finish. But what I noticed was that since it was polished to create a satin finish, it actually brought out the beige tones in the tile, so it looks more beige instead of the gray that's in my master bathroom. And honestly, I wasn't expecting this, but it was a great surprise because I actually like how this color coordinates so much better with the sage and the look I'm going for in this guest bathroom. So I think it worked out great. Now, the next thing that I knew I really wanted in this bathroom was I wanted to have a wall faucet. I wanted to have a faucet that just came out of the wall. I think they're absolutely beautiful, especially with those large curved backsplashes made from like granite or some kind of stone, right? And I've been seeing these throughout Pinterest for a while now, and I've been wanting to test it myself. And I figured this would be the perfect bathroom for it because it wouldn't take so much to make a statement because it is a small sink. So it wouldn't be too costly to do something like this with a backsplash because I wouldn't need that much stone. And again, it's something that's going to make a statement when people come over and use the bathroom. It's going to be something very different. Now here's the faucet that I selected to go into the wall for my vanity. This is something that I actually picked quite early on, and I needed to do that because I needed to make sure that we let our plumber know the type of plumbing that he needed to put in the wall in order to accommodate for this faucet. And here is another sample picture from Pinterest where you can see how it would come out of the wall. Now, I had originally thought that we were going to build like a rustic kind of table to go underneath the countertop and just kind of do like a DIY project for it. But we ended up changing our minds when I found this particular cabinet. I think it was Wayfair and it was on sale. I think it was a Memorial Day sale or something like that. And it was on discount. It did come with a countertop, which we're not going to use. But the vanity itself is really pretty. It looks like a piece of furniture. It was really easy for us to set up. And so we decided to go ahead and go with that, especially since the table that I was thinking in my head that we would build wouldn't have any drawers. This one does. And this one also would have the shelf that I wanted underneath as well. So at least I was able to keep the original idea of having the backsplash and the counter on top of something that looks like it was built. But this is actually, it kind of helped us because we didn't have to build anything from scratch. Now, in case you're wondering, I will have all of these items linked in the description box below if you guys want to check them out for yourself. Now, bringing in that chrome to the rest of the bathroom, as you can see here is the shower head that we've gone with for this bathroom. It has a little bit of a traditional feel, and I absolutely love that really pretty arm and its details. The handheld shower spray nozzle also has this beautiful chrome look as well. Now, once all of the tile was installed, Nelson and I painted the entire bathroom. We're actually painting our entire house. We are not hiring any painters for the interior portion because this is something that we can do pretty quickly, and we're very familiar with painting rooms. So we went ahead and put the soft sage up on the walls, and I absolutely love how this color looks in this bathroom. The next thing I needed to design was the nook to the right of the shower. Now, we hired the same gentleman who did our hood vent for our kitchen, and he did a great job on these as well. I wanted the upper portion to be shelves for storage so I can have additional towels and toiletries in this space. But then the bottom cabinet, I wanted it to be like a pull out for a small laundry basket, and he was able to do that for me. He trimmed it out exactly as I wanted with a shaker style door, but with a little bit of a rounded trim throughout the interior of the shaker portion. He added trim to the edges to kind of close the seams. However, the far right section where it meets the drywall, there's still a little bit of drywall fixing that we have to do there. We didn't know how far we needed the drywall to go, and there's just a couple of areas that need to be filled in. But once we move in, I'll be able to take my time, fill that in, and get it nice and smooth. This is a door that pulls out. As you can see, the toilet is going to go right here where you see that ring on the floor. So it does come out a little bit, it just can't extend the full way. However, I'll rather have that than nothing because it does make everything nice and functional, and it will be of great use to overnight guests because then they can use the bathroom to the fullest extent without it getting cluttered or looking untidy. As far as lighting, instead of doing the overhead lighting above the mirror, I decided to go with sconce lighting that goes on either side of the mirror. So these are the sconces that I kind of splurged on a few months ago. I shared with you guys they were on sale at Ballard Designs, and I just totally bought them. I bought two of them. And that's what we're going to be putting above the sink in this space. And I think up against the sage colored walls, the finish on these sconces is just going to look spectacular and just really unique for this space. So I'm excited about that. Now, we won't be putting any glass doors on the shower, and that is honestly because of budget reasons. Perhaps in the future we can install one, but for right now, my idea is bringing some beautiful fabric and actually sewing my own shower curtains that go all the way up to the ceiling. And we'll have like the actual liner that's more practical go on the inside, but the one on the outside, it would just would be nice, I think, if I had some kind of beautiful floral print that looks like actual drapes. So naturally, I went to ChatGPT so that I can see what that would look like, and it would look something like this. And I honestly think it would be really pretty. I may not do two separate curtains, one larger one, and maybe even swag it to one side or the other. And I think it would look really nice and very elegant in that space. And again, it would be a lot cheaper than getting glass doors installed. And we can always, do that in the future if we really want to. Now, as of right now, there are a few things that we need to do. And one of them is move the plumbing in the walls a little bit over. When we were putting the plumbing in the walls, we didn't know what size vanity I was going to end up with. So we just have to shift it a little bit over in order for us to put the faucets in place. So that's still something that has to get done in the bathroom. We have gotten quite a few things done in here. However, we still need a little bit of plumbing work done over on the faucet in the sink area, as well as in the shower where we're going to put our handheld. We also have some trim that needs to be put up and some baseboards, and of course the sconces and lighting, etc. But we are definitely a lot further along than what we used to be. Now, in case you're wondering, I'll have all of the products that I mentioned in this video linked in my description box below if you want to check any of these out. Now, as far as the rest of the house is concerned, we got word that our spacers or our filler strips for the island situation, they are due any minute now. And as soon as I hear that they're here, we're going to go pick them up from the store, and we'll come back and we'll address the kitchen island, get that ready to go, because our countertops are all done and they're ready for us to install them. However, we have to address that island situation. And of course, we haven't been able to do that since we've been waiting on those fillers, but we should have them shortly. Any day now, I should be able to pick them up, and we should be getting on that soon enough. Then, once the countertops are installed, we can finish our plumbing. That is basically what we need right now. Nelson has been working really hard to finish all of the electrical outlets and the switches and everything that he needs to do in order to get that final electrical inspection done. And this is happening within the next 2 weeks. So fingers crossed that everything goes in smoothly. I'm trying to schedule everything for it to just kind of be like, one thing after another so that we can get in here quickly. We've already been unpacking our furniture, which is so nice to see. And, you know, the furniture, I'm so relieved to see it, but there's a couple of nicks here and there. And I guess that's what, it happens and moves no matter how well you pack them. And we packed them very well, but they were there for 2 years. And, you know, I guess, things happen or shift. So there's going to be a little bit of touch ups to do on the furniture and stuff, but so far the majority of it looks pretty good. And it's really interesting to see everything in the space and how we're going to use it. And we're just, so excited that we have all our stuff here. But yeah, these next couple of weeks are going to be super busy. We're going to hopefully wrap up a lot of stuff. Hopefully soon I'll be sharing a video where I'm like, we're finally living in the home. So yeah, that's it for today's video. That is our update. I hope you are liking the plans for the guest bathroom. I'm loving how it's turning out. We just need to tweak a few things in the bathroom in order to make everything in the plumbing and my vision for it work. And then we'll be done with it. So I am so excited. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and let me know in the comments below what you love about the design. And I will see you back here very soon with another update. Until then, adios.